Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We're still letting people into the proverbial Zoom room.
Good
I call it the
morning.
mothership.
The mothership.
Beam them up.
We're going to start today with some channeling,
hmm
right? And then we're just going to do a little Q&A about our wisdom school. This is, I believe, the fifth Q&A call that we've done about our wisdom school, the Blue Soul Alchemy Wisdom School, which is going to be launching in May. And so after channeling, we'll go into a very short overview. The first time we did it, it was a full hour long presentation. So if anybody does want to see that, let me know and I'll send you the link to that presentation. It was much longer. And every subsequent one that we've done has gotten shorter.
So I'm assuming that everyone here is familiar with channeling and how Renee and I channel and with the Magdalene energy.
There's some newbies,
Okay.
so maybe not. Yeah, there are some newbies.
So I will slowly slip into channel. The essence that will be coming through me will be Miriam of Magdal or Magdala. Again, the way it works for me, my energy, her energy, we combine together to form something unique. And that's really how channeling works.
Yeah.
It's really your energy combining with more energies and creating something new. So when you channel Mary Magdalene or Yeshua, whoever it is, it's your particular makeup with their energies combining into something unique. That's why sometimes stories are a little bit different. I have to leave out, when I'm in channel, any type of personal views or opinions that I have, and I'll let the channel speak through me. I am actually the channel. I am the higher self. The higher self comes through and speaks along with whatever entity wants to come and speak and heal and interact. That's how it works. At least for me, that's how it works. We are here to show you, our wisdom school is here to teach you how to
channel,
how to become your higher self in this perception of reality. That is what we do.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about this, and I think it bodes repeating it because it kind of blew us away. I mean, those of you who know us, we tend not to, there's a lot of sensationalism out there. And so we tend to be a little bit more subtle and humble about our offerings. And so when we had this idea for the wisdom school and stopped all of our membership programs, we have these pillars, which we're going to bring you through, that we're going to follow in the school, but we never led with the very first announcement that we put out about our wisdom school. We did not lead with, you're going to learn how to channel. And a few of you, I don't think those of you on this call, but a few of you who've been with us for a while said, why do you not lead with that? Because, how many full embodied channels are there out there? And we're like, not many. So we asked our guides and they said, well, that's what you and Anthony do. Of course you should lead with it. And so that's when we kind of changed things around. And so yes, it's to teach you how to channel, but it's so much more than that, right? It's so much more than that. And that's one of the reasons why we've been really vetting the process, because there's a lot of people who want a quick fix, going on an ayahuasca journey. And I won't lie to you, I have not done ayahuasca, but I did a medicine journey this past weekend. And man, it does get you into those dimensional clouds pretty quickly. And, I can see how people really want to do that sidestepping process to feel the energy of this really multidimensional state of being. It was pretty powerful. So we're going to be doing that without the medicine.
And you have you can ask whatever questions you want.
Yeah, make the questions tough, because I feel, and those of you who were in our membership programs know, the tougher the questions, the more interesting it gets, I think, because it challenges us and it challenges our guides.
Okay, I won't crack any jokes. I'm not like other channelers. I have a very funny sense of humor. Again, I won't take myself so seriously, because when you take yourself so seriously, that's when you start to run into problems.
Yeah.
You have to have a good sense of humor, an open heart when you're on this journey, because it can be very ungrounding at times.
Yeah. And by not taking seriously, one of the things that he means too is that on our channeling journey, some of the things that come through are kind of out there at times. And so if you get lost in the details and not look for the bigger picture heart message that comes through, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I
Right?
take my channeling seriously, but not myself
Yeah.
as the channel.
Does
I
that
have
make
to be very grounded
does
in
that
this.
make sense? Because sometimes when people open up to channel, they may get messages, and Anthony did too, that you are one with Jesus, or you are Abraham incarnate, or you are a Palladian director of a federation, or whatever it is. There's these messages that are coming through to you. But the most important thing is, how do we apply that in everyday life in a practical way that helps and serves people?
Right.
Because that's really why we're here, is to heal each other and to open each other up to our own divinity, and to remind everyone that you're the guru you seek out there, right? You're the ascended master. We are all channelers. We are all healers. We all have that ability. We're just really here to kind of serve as guides to help you remember that you too are both of those things.
Remember that you're in control of everything.
Yeah.
Nothing can come to you, through you, unless you decide. More or less. I say more or less, because when you go into a channeling state, I always tell people you're putting the sign up, open for business.
Yeah.
You got the light on.
Yeah.
Space is available. And everything will come to you.
And just a reminder too that our guides will tell us all the time, Anthony's not currently opening a portal, he is the portal. So we are all the portals. It's a really important distinction here, because especially for those of us over 45, we're conditioned and grown up with a lot of fear around opening the idea of a portal, and what are you opening yourself up to? So when we remember that we are the portals and that we have full agency and control over what comes into our field, everything changes. Okay, so he's going into an altered state of consciousness is really what it is. For Anthony, it's always like this. Ever since the beginning, it's always like this. It's like the Anthony channel goes offline, even though it doesn't go offline. We originally thought it went offline. It's more of a merging, but that's kind of what it feels like.
Hmm. Good to see you.
Good to
I
see you.
am Miriam Magdal.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Renee.
A question.
What is your question?
I've never asked this question before. But it's something I've noticed. Every time you or the guides come through, there's a point where you look really intensely at Anthony's hands. Why do you guys do that? It's just something I've always
It's
noticed.
grounding for him.
I see.
So he understands that he's still here in this dimensional reality with us.
I see. So it's not so much about you guys, it's more for Anthony.
Yes.
Okay.
So he doesn't lose his mind, if you
Gotcha.
will.
Gotcha.
Because it's a very slippery slope. It is strange to be in this particular consciousness, although everyone has access to it.
Mm,
Becoming accustomed to it and used to it takes time. So he must stay grounded in everything that he does,
okay.
and we allow him to do that. And again, I will say we, because it's not just me, Mary Magdalene. It is also the all that is. And the all that is you. We are together, all of us. We never leave each other. We've been telling you that for how many years now? Many, many years. That we are you and you are us. We are just coming into this particular reality of consciousness. And that's really all it is. But how it works is still a challenge. It's not so much how it works, but it's what you do with it to help others reach this state of consciousness as well. And when you reach this state of consciousness, you slow down. Peace will come to you. Love will come to you. Grace, gratitude, all of these beautiful things of being human will come to you. And you will see life in a whole different way.
Which I would argue is an even more important byproduct of the channeling process.
You are exactly correct.
Yeah.
That is the byproduct. That is the realization and the expansion of one's consciousness. To know that you are one with all things, and that no matter what happens to you or others, everything will be okay. It always is. It may not appear that way, though.
So Dunya is asking, you are often channeling together, and you have those who are new to us, the guides call me Gaia. So I'm a little bit like a grounding cord for Anthony when he's channeling. So she's asking, is it important to have somebody to ground you when you or anybody else is channeling?
At first, it can be of assistance. It can help you, but it's not necessary.
Yeah.
The reason why you and Anthony are together, it is a demonstration of something unique. The feminine and masculine coming together to form something different. But yes, you do use, or he uses you and you use him as grounding cords.
Yeah.
That is to say, to stay grounded in this reality.
Now, remember too, okay, when we're talking about channeling, there's so many different kinds of channeling.
There are.
So this is a full embodied state of channeling where, spirit takes over, right? And in a way. So spirit always takes over. Like when I have automatic writing, I lose a sense of time and space. Like hours and hours and hours can go by and it will feel like 20 minutes for me. So that, I think, happens no matter if it's full embodied or if it's mental channeling. But I would say for full embodied channeling, which is rare and what most of you will not do unless you choose to. But we would always say be careful what you sign up for and be careful what you request because spirit doesn't want to
we don't want to blow your circuit boards.
Blow your circuit boards or scare you.
No, that is not our intention.
Yeah. And that, in my medicine journey, my circuit boards were.
Yes.
Right. And I had a headache for 5 days.
They get blown wide open very quickly.
It was not fun. I won't lie to you. It was important. And I could see the reason why all of the stuff came through the way that it came through, but it was not a fun journey. My circuits were, and there was a moment. I'm just going to mention this because it's similar to how Anthony opened up. When you're in these other dimensional realities, there was a part of me that was very excited because there were these downloads like, oh my God, this is crazy. Give me more, give me more. And so I asked the medicine, what more am I here to learn in this particular dimensional reality? And the message came back and said, Earth Mother, called me Earth Mother, which I thought was interesting. Can you handle more? Now, at that point, I should have said no. My head was blowing out of my circuits. My ears were popping. It was 4:00 in the morning. I was the only one in the group of 12 that wasn't sleeping. There's absolutely no reason I should have said yes. And I said, bring it on. Bring it on. And then, of course, my circuits were popping even more. So I think the key to this is as exciting as it can be when our channels start to open up, we need to remember self-care. We need to remember boundaries. We need to remember go slow. It's not a race. All of these things, because, it can affect us physically
Yes,
if we go too fast. So I would say, an answer to that for full embodied, it was very helpful for Anthony, because as he was getting different chakra and nadi attunements, as he was expanding more and more, it was a little scary for you.
Yes, it was quite scary.
Yeah, like he was shaking and vibrating, and there was just a lot of stuff that happened over a series of many years,
And I
really.
believe he got himself a good psychologist.
We did that too. Yes, and she's still with us, a very
Yes.
dear friend. But
Because
yeah,
it can be very traumatic for people.
so
And it was for
so
him.
it was very useful in the sense of full embodied. But for people who are going to be opening up in a mental channeling way, which will be most people, and you choose, by the way, you always choose what and how you want to channel. Remember that. You always choose how the clairs come to you, what clairs you want to work with. If you don't, I don't want to see. I have no interest in seeing alien beings around me, or, yesterday we had a private session and somebody's deceased brother came through, and then someone else's mother who was standing here. I don't want to see that. Anthony could see it, feel it, could get an idea of how tall the person was and how he was presenting himself. But that's what to fine tune for you. What actually comes to you when you open up? Does it come to you through feeling, through senses, through knowing, through actually seeing, or feeling? Sometimes, you might feel an energy in the room or something like that. So that's clairsentience. You're feeling what's coming through to you. So you get to choose. And that is so important, because if you choose the wrong one, you might be frightened. I don't want to see snakes, or I don't want to see anything. I want to feel it. I can feel it. For Anthony, he's a warrior spirit. So the difference is he has all of them. He has all the clairs are wide open, aren't they?
Yes. But he
Yeah.
needs to practice each one
Yeah, that's true.
in order to open them up even more.
So I know we spent a lot of time on that question,
There
but
were more questions, Gaia.
yeah, so that's just the reason I wanted to spend more time, is because when you're learning how, for any mental kind of mediumship or channeling, we always recommend that you start with one and then move to two, and then really no more than three.
Yes, take your time.
Take your time. So, and then, in that regard, it's less necessary to have a grounding partner, but you always want community where you can bounce things off.
That is correct also.
Yeah, for
Community
sure.
will keep you grounded as well.
That's one of the reasons why the wisdom school is so long, is we want people to feel like they can go to other people as they're opening up, and get some groundedness and practice.
Did you miss a question, Gaia?
Well, I'm going down. Let's see. I understand that other planetary beings will be making themselves evident to us over the next few years. Will they teach us how to heal ourselves in more effective ways other than what we are currently doing? Great question. Great question.
Anthony was just thinking about this earlier.
I was too, because that's what came to me in my medicine journey. That's exactly what came to me in my medicine journey.
1 second, please. Who said in a couple years the alien beings were coming?
Michelle.
Yes. Do you have a particular date on which they will be arriving? And in which type of ships are they coming? You see, I sometimes joke. Although there is true, they are there, watching, observing. Will they make themselves known? little by little, they will. Will that happen in 2 years, 4 years, 10 years?
It's going to be incremental, right?
Yes. Very, very small incremental steps that they will make themselves known. And it's happening now. I've told you that, but it's a very slow process, just like channeling. It needs to be a slow process of opening up your consciousness to something greater. These beings are something greater in a sense that human beings are starting to discover. But it's not going to happen like that. It takes time.
It'll be snippets.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
I will not say that it will be in
yeah.
2 years, though.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Selig often says, because he channels the Melchizedek energy, who's one of our guides, and so there's kind of similar overlapping messages there. But you will also tell us in slightly different ways that the information and the connection will only be so much that we can handle, that our consciousness can handle. So that's how it's going to come in. And Eileen said, love the question. I feel we will be healing ourselves through frequencies. Yes.
Now, yes,
Yes.
about teaching yourselves how to heal. They will not necessarily teach you how to heal yourselves. You're learning how to do that right now.
Yeah.
It's happening.
And by the way, for the 4 of you here who are already signed up for Wisdom School, we will be covering that, or 5 of you, I think. 4 of you.
If these energies are coming through you, which you perceive as alien or different, then they too will teach you how to heal yourself so you can heal others. But it is not that they are going to arrive here on their ships, come out of their ships and say, this is how you heal yourself. That's not how it works. They will first come to your consciousness, meld with your consciousness, show you how to heal yourself so that you may heal others. That's how it happens, more or less.
Now, I'll add this because this just happened last weekend in my medicine journey. There was a woman who I really was connecting to, and she's starting to open up to channel. And, she's very slight. So she's a very thin woman, and she started shaking quite a bit. And so the medicine was affecting both of us pretty much in the same way, except I wasn't shaking, but she was literally shaking like this. And it was because Renee and Anthony didn't sign up on time. We went kind of last minute to this thing, and Anthony didn't participate. He just held space. He carried the Christ consciousness energy through the whole 4 days, which was amazing, by the way. So anyway, we were in public space sleeping, and so there were, just mattresses on the floor, and I was lying next to her, and she had her blanket over her thing, and she was just shaking. And that was the point after psilocybin, after like a lot of stuff. So I called Magdalene and I said, help me regulate her nervous system. So I started doing Reiki and I started doing everything that I knew. And Magdalene came through and said, no, 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 no. And Asha, you're going to resonate with what I'm about to say. Magdalene came through and said, tell her that you're not here to heal her. You're here to tell her to match your frequency together, and you're going to regulate each other's nervous system. I mean, I almost started crying. It was so profound. And so then I started communicating with her soul. And then I said, wait. I was getting in my head. And I said, don't we need to be in the quantum field for me to be able to connect to her soul? And Magdalene came back in the way that she does. And she says, you are in the quantum field right now. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Anyway, it was just a funny moment. You are in the quantum field. And so then I communicated to her soul and said, match my frequency and regulate our nervous system together. So profound. So the idea is that although we can heal others, remember that it's always a two-way street and it's symbiotic. So if the soul doesn't receive the message or doesn't want to participate, they won't. And that's why if you're a Reiki certified master, we're not responsible for the outcome. But in that case, right, we were able to do enough where she quieted down enough to be able to walk into another room and lie down in a bed and go to sleep. So she didn't stop shaking completely, but it was enough where she could maintain some calm, enough calm to actually fall asleep. So it was a very powerful message. So it absolutely has to do with frequencies. Thank you for that message and that teaching
You're
moment.
welcome.
Anyway, you weren't the only one that came to me. So Michelle's asking, I'd love more instruction on healing through frequencies and different perspectives on healing from other worldlies.
Mm. Healing from otherworldly beings. Mm. Michelle, you have to understand, all of you, that these otherworldly beings are not so different from you. Their consciousness is attached to yours. You might even say that they are aspects of your higher self. Instead of seeing them as being separate from you, different from you, accept them as being one with you, as you do with Source, because they too make up Source. They make up what you refer to as God. It is a consciousness universal of the all that is. So, Michelle, if you ask for them to come to you, they will come to you and they will show you how to heal through frequencies, through breathing, chanting, meditating, praying. This is
Sound healing.
found
That's
a
for
good deal of work.
Yeah, that's for you, Eileen.
You understand.
Yeah, sound is powerful too, because what that's doing is when the sound bowls play, it's matching a particular frequency.
Yes. You can teach individuals how to match your frequency by simply allowing others to come into your frequencies, but it takes practice. It is not an easy thing to do. Many people don't just wish to sit and focus their breath and their energies. They want to do things. They want it just to come to them. But a part of this wisdom school that Renee and Anthony have created is to get you to sit, to do nothing, and to focus your energy on you. And when you do that, that is when these essences that you refer to as other beings will come to you in your consciousness. And that is wonderful, actually. That is what Anthony has done. We are here. I am here. The all is here.
I mean, a big part of it is emptying. It's really just emptying ourselves, our vessels.
That is a way to say it.
Yeah.
But in truth, you don't empty anything.
Well,
But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It is a nice way to say empty yourself so that you can
Yeah.
be filled with other energies.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, because when there's so much going on and we're being hit with so many
Yes.
things, we're constantly in thinking mode. Right. So
Trauma mode, in a
well,
manner of speaking.
yeah, the mirror is a beautiful thing, y'all. So if there's one little exercise we can get you to all do is when you're thinking about this stuff, do it in front of a mirror and have your cell phone videotape you. So you can play it back and see how much you're looking up. You can see it, right? You can see it. Like even watching you, how often we do this. When we do this, we're going into our thinking mode. So have you ever noticed like an Indian master or when they sit and they think, and sometimes it takes them a long time before they respond. Have you ever noticed that? I'm a type A personality. I'm like, when Yeshua's here and takes him forever to speak. So there's no thinking. It's completely surrendering and sitting into the heart when Yeshua comes through and speaks.
Even now it is.
Even now, yeah. But there's no, so it's a little interesting distinction to notice. And when you start noticing that about yourself, you can catch yourself in the moment of going into thought versus heart. It's a practice.
Anthony sees a dear friend here. It comes to his heart.
Which friend?
A friend.
Here?
Yes.
On the screen?
Yes, the picture.
Oh.
And he says to her, "Don't worry, my dear." And I say to you, don't worry, my dear. Have faith into something greater than yourself and know that you will be okay and that you are on a wonderful journey of self-discovery. And continue on your journey. Let no one interfere with it, for you are the master of your own journey and you are beautiful. I am here with you. And I will say this so she understands. Hashem, Adonai, is here with you. He has always been here with you. And we wish you to know that. Amen, I say to you. Good. More questions.
Okay. Question for Miriam. As a mother of a 25-year-old, I am letting go of worry and believing. Hang on. Oh, interface is not fun. Okay. Hang on one second. I can't read it correctly. Letting go and believing. I know what's best for him. He's an incredible young man in the world, yet I still feel he can be vulnerable out there. What guidance can you offer as I let go of the mother role as I have known it for almost 25 years? Yeah, it's a powerful.
Good. I will speak of this. You will never, ever let go of being a mother to your child. As hard as you try, it will not happen. It is not necessary that you stop being a mother, and it is not necessary that you stop worrying. But you know that you have done a beautiful job with your child. You have given him everything that he needs to be a successful young man in this world. Let him know that. Tell him how much you love him, how proud you are of him, and that you will always be there for him.
No matter what. Yeah.
But the fact that he is an independent being now is an indication of how successful you have been as a mother. That he now is finding himself, creating his own path. And I say to you, don't worry. Everything will be okay. You will never stop worrying about your son, no matter how old he is, because you are a mother. And that is what mothers do. We worry about our children. How beautiful you are for the love that you hold for this being that you have helped create in this world. Don't worry. Watch as he grows and the man that he becomes and rejoice in that. Rejoice. Good. You see, isn't it beautiful to have children, to see them grow? And I know that some of the journeys aren't very nice at times. Okay, let us move on.
Yeah, we're actually friends with someone's 25-year-old son on this call.
Yes, and he too is doing very well.
Yes, he is.
Let it be a reflection of the mother as well.
Yes. How do you feel, deal, live with channeling someone of an opposite gender? I have a male spirit attached to me. It is sipping in more, or slipping in, I think she means. It's slipping in more and more into my life, and it is challenging showing up in a world like this.
Okay. That is a very good question.
Especially since Anthony channels a female energy.
Who said that Anthony is male? Who said that I am female? Okay. I just will put you there in that perspective. Anthony has the appearance of being male, and I believe he likes it. He enjoys being male. He enjoys this perception of reality.
Certainly,
I was once female.
Certainly less time consuming to get ready in the morning.
And I can manifest myself as female. But in truth, am I really female?
Your energy now.
Is it?
Well, you once manifested yourself as female over 2,000 years
I
ago.
did. But if you believe truly that I am female, then I will be female. But Anthony knows damn well that I am not.
You're genderless.
I have no gender in truth, nor do you. But if you believe that this male energy is pushing itself through you, and I said its self, not his self. It's more of an it, that it is a he or a she. If you truly believe that it is a he, and if he says I am a he, then he will be a he for you. But if you understand that energy is energy, and that it is neither feminine nor male, then you will understand that this being that is coming through you is truly an aspect of your higher self that you need to understand, get to know a little bit better.
For integration? Or?
Yes. Anthony is slowly integrating all of the energies that we say we are. And he is coming to terms with the idea that Mary Magdalene is a beautiful energy. Yes, I am. He even has beautiful pictures of me because that's what he wishes to see on his computer, doesn't he? Of all the women. And it helps him to show him his feminine side of who he is. But when a male entity comes into you as a female, it is there to show you the balance of who you are. Bring these two energies together, male and female.
So it's okay. So it sounds like it's helping to integrate the masculine and feminine as energies inside you.
Yes, that is correct. And when that happens, then you understand the Ein Sof, the nothingness.
I am who I am.
The I am that I am. Yeah. The Yohed Vahe. The God and Goddess coming together again. That's really what's happening.
The oneness consciousness.
Yes, the oneness of who you are in this lifetime. But remember, soul, that this is a process. It is a process of slow integration of your divine feminine and divine masculine coming together to become one.
So would you say her higher self called this in to help her integrate both masculine and feminine energies?
Yes,
Okay.
that's how it works. The
Yeah.
higher self will give to you what the perception requires in order to fulfill its enlightenment,
Mm.
if you will, so that it understands who it is in this lifetime. A very, very strong path, complicated path to be on,
Mm.
if you choose. Not many choose to be on this path, but that's okay. But you who choose to be on this path are the teachers of today and tomorrow to
Yeah.
help the consciousness of humanity
Rise
understand itself again.
or expand, I suppose, is more accurate.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could say expand.
Yeah. Expand is probably more accurate than rise, since you constantly tell us there's no,
To become the ineffable of who you are, that which that has no words.
which is a great segue to Kate's question, because it's really answering it almost. So this is a practice of learning to live from the soul rather than from the body, letting the soul run the show, so to speak.
Yes. Can you say to your friends and your family, God, that which that has no name, the all that is, source,
Or 99 names.
or 99 names, is speaking to me and through me? Can you allow that to happen? Can you come to grips with the reality that you are God?
In a physical form, in a perceived physical form.
Yes. Many of you can't do that. Many of you won't do that. Because many of you, all of us, have been told, no, that's not possible. There's no way to understand God. Well, I'm not telling you that you must understand God. You must understand yourself first.
As an aspect of God.
Yes, as an aspect of God, as an aspect of the all that is, the source, the Ein Sof, the goddess, the God. But each path is different of its understanding of who he or she is in this lifetime. But it's quite a journey.
And the other thing too, Kay, is, and that's why we put kind of front and center when we talk about the wisdom school, is the most important part is embodying it. So it is your soul self. That part is correct. But if we don't embody it, then the challenge, and we're seeing that now all over the place, is spiritual bypass.
A spiritual bypass is often thinking that, and I've never told you this before, Gaia, believing that, having the notion that something else is coming through you to speak. You call me Mary Magdalene, you call me Yeshua, you call me the Choshim, the Pharisees. That too is true.
Ascended masters.
Ascended masters.
Melchizedek.
All of them. But who am I really?
Frequency.
Which frequency?
The one that's coming through now is the frequency that was once Mary Magdalene over 2,000 years ago.
Yes and no. I want all of you to know this. By becoming a part of this wisdom school.
You're Sophia also.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
You will not just channel others that come to you, but you will understand that the others that come to you are you. If they present themselves as aliens or angels, elementals,
they're different.
Shamans,
They're different frequencies that's making.
we will start there.
Yeah.
But we will eventually end, if there is an end, with the self-realization that these entities that are coming to you and through you are you. Your higher self.
Connected to the all.
Your God, goddess self.
So in that way, Kate, it is the soul self, right? It's
yes.
The soul self taking charge that has access to everything.
That is correct. Which means you will have access to the all that is in all of its infinite amount of frequencies, vibrations, amplitudes, volumes, colors, all of it. Because you are the all that is. Amen, I say to that.
So great segue to the next question is, how do you distinguish between you are God versus you are part of God?
It's a practice.
But it's both.
It's a little bit of both.
It's kind of like you're the drop in the ocean, but you're also the ocean. You're the grain of sand, but you're also the desert.
This is why Anthony says, stay grounded. Because with this information of knowing that you are source, you are God, can be a bit overwhelming. So you must balance between being that drop and the ocean and balance both of them. They must be in balance. Because there are too many gurus and teachers out there who do know this information, and they will use it to take advantage of others.
Yeah.
You've seen it already in your lifetime and in previous lifetimes. It's nothing new. It's always been there. You must be balanced as a human being.
And humble.
When you do this work, stay, what do we say? Humble.
Yeah.
Stay humble.
You know,
good.
And one of the things that a few of us have heard us say is that we're vetting the process who comes into the wisdom school, because it's not just, are you ready and ready for the commitment, but that humility is so important. So important. I've been on retreats where there's drama. We don't want drama. We want grounded, humble people. And
if you are a drama king or a drama queen,
oh my gosh, there's so much out there now.
Before you learn how to channel,
yeah,
you will be a drama queen and a drama king
after you channel,
while you are channeling as well. You see, and then you will believe things. I don't wish to say this, but all that is bad is coming your way. You will create drama and trauma even more. And that is not why I am here. I am not here to create trauma and drama. I am here to show you who you are in this lifetime, so that you may learn, take on these energies, channel the soul that you truly are, go out and help others do the same. Yeah. That's why we are here.
With humility.
With humility, with peace, grace, gratitude.
You're the teacher, but realizing that those you're helping are also the teachers. That you're not elevated above them, you're there as a guide to help them. That's the most important key, because otherwise it's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. Well, the Deepak thing put me over the edge. Ugh,
I know.
like, who's next?
More are coming.
Yeah, I know. It's just, it's also not easy for us who are, spiritual teachers and really genuinely, I mean, I'm talking about the people who are in the hospice rooms, right? These are our heroes. It's not the people on stages. So, that's one thing that we have to remember. The people who are like the women who wrote Braiding Sweetgrass, who are teaching about us about our connection to trees and plants and honoring them. She's our heroes. Those are the people who are our heroes. So
Are there more questions, Gaia?
anyway, I get very emotional when
Yes,
I
you
think.
do.
I do. I get very emotional when I think about this. So we're elevating the
And
wrong
that is
people.
okay.
We should be elevating the nurses and the hospice care workers and the people on the front lines. When you connect to your higher self, can you connect or even communicate with someone else's higher self, even if they are not on a spiritual path, to understand them better as
Very
friends or family members? Absolutely. Absolutely.
assolutamente.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you will be able to communicate not just with souls that you perceived have passed, but you will be able to communicate with the soul with whom you are working.
Yeah.
That is really the trick. That is the essence, to be able to have soul-to-soul communication all the time.
That was Yeshua's biggest gift, by the way. I mean, he had a lot of gifts, but if you've read the book, you remember there's a line where I think Lazarus said his biggest gift to humanity was his ability to communicate to a living soul and say, do you wish to be healed? Or do you wish to be open up to spirit? And they would always say, you have said this to us, that Yeshua felt that his biggest gift was not to heal someone from leprosy, but so that they woke up and realized their God self within. That was the real miracle for him.
I wish for all of you to know this as well, that Yeshua and I, when we did work together, we did heal. However, what they don't tell you is that he had more failures than he had successes. They only show you the successes that he had. When you are going through this process as well, you will not have successes all the time, but you will be practicing your mystical arts of communicating with souls one at a time. We tell you and Anthony, one soul at a time.
Because remember, if the person isn't open to receive the message at a soul level, physically, often they don't want to hear the message, right? I'm kind of mostly talking about our family members.
And
but,
their friends as well.
And their friends. But at a soul level, they may be willing to hear the message and they may be willing to receive it. And it could come through them as a vision or a dream in the night where they wake up and they feel different and they can't understand why.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, so all of this happened. Think of it as happening outside of space-time as we know it. Right?
That is good.
That a way to explain it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you need their permission?
I love that question.
Well, that's when I was trained to access the Akashic records. That was a big part of the training.
Yes, I understand.
To ask for permission.
Asking for permission is good practices, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in truth, these laws that you have created as human beings, that we have created with you, don't apply in other spiritual realms. You may ask permission.
Out of respect.
Out of respect.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. You will know
Yeah.
as you are able to, when you're able to speak directly with the soul, whether or not
Yeah.
you have permission.
Because if the soul doesn't respond, and this has happened too before, whether it's a private session or a group that we're working with.
It will feel like there is a wall.
That's right.
There between you and the soul. The soul will put up an energy field so that you cannot communicate with it.
Yeah.
The soul decides.
Yeah.
In truth.
So it doesn't happen very often, but I would say in whatever 13, 14 years of doing this, it's probably happened maybe half a dozen times.
Yes.
So it's not often, but sometimes, the guides will say, we're not permitted to go there, or the soul doesn't wish to communicate. And then you just respect that.
Yes, that is right.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
It is not that you have the inability to communicate with the soul or that you're not doing your job as a healer. It's simply that the soul is saying, no, I'm good right now. I'm fine.
Like, remember that message
Yes.
when we worked on Adam?
Yes.
And it was weird because he had this message from a healer maybe 15 years before we sat with him, but he has a lot of pain in his back, like really like a blockage, and all the medical tests said everything's okay. And when the guides went in to look, they said, the soul is not permitting us to remove the blockage. And if he hadn't had the same exact message 15 years ago, because the look on his face was like, what did you say? And so to have that reconfirmed 15 years later with the same message. So for some reason, the soul is saying that pain is supposed to stay in my back for whatever reason that we won't know. And, his human self doesn't know.
So the laws that are governed here on this earth plane don't necessarily.
Great question. Sherry's asking, what would be for the reason for another soul's not be willing to receive healing or wanting to expand? Great question. More lessons.
Your family members don't want to hear from you. They don't want to hear about your spiritual awakening. They could care less. Why? Why don't they care?
It's not their journey.
It's not their journey. Same thing with the soul. It's not its journey.
Mm.
It is not where it wishes to go. It's that simple. It wishes to have a different experience.
And also remember,
but it may be open.
Yeah, it might be open.
Could be open.
And it might think of our auric field. We're actually going to do some stuff with chakras and nadis also. Think of our auric field as a sponge, and like a closed sponge. But sponges have different textures, don't they? You've seen some sponges that have bigger holes. So all you need is a little love to get into that hole, because that's really what it is. That's the way I think of it anyway, is love energy, right? You're piercing the auric fields layers and all these sponges with more love and more love and more love, and that hole just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Do you mean love upon love upon love upon love?
I do.
As they say in your synagogue?
Yeah, there's a whole technical Eastern philosophy way of describing this.
Yes, there is.
That's a lot more technical, so I'm really dumbing it down here, but that's really what's happening. You're letting more love into the field, and it allows them to expand and trust more, particularly if they've gone through some trauma, physical, mental, or emotional trauma. They're not willing to open up that proverbial door because it's scary for them. But when they feel just a little ounce of love, a little ounce of I'm safe, a little bit of safety, they allow a little bit more vulnerability to come through. And that's where the true healing happens.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, but we probably won't get, bottled down into although the technical stuff is very cool. The geeky part of me loves that stuff, but we're going to try to keep it pretty practical.
Yes. Okay,
So we'll just spend about 10 minutes if that's for those who want to stay. Do you want to stay?
I will
You'll
stay.
stay. She'll stay. It will stay.
I like that.
I have a hard time calling Mary Magdalene it.
I understand why. You can call me she, her, hers.
I prefer she.
Okay, that is fine.
As the Sophia energy is rising. So we'll just spend about 10 minutes on this and then we'll just take questions, any questions that you have on it. Can you all see this? You can see it. Okay, we're going to just go quickly through this because we've talked a little bit about it. Okay, we should just spend a minute on this. And because it's so important that you surround yourself with people who are going to support you. So our hope with this is that we build a community filled with humility and support for each other, because that really creates a field of safety for everybody. And I feel like even, with the medicine journey, I would not have done it if I didn't feel complete safety. Obviously, Anthony was there holding space, but I'm very, very particular about what I put into my body. And so, we feel that because everything's energy, right? And so that's the most important thing of what we're curating. And it's kind of why it's taking longer, right? I know it's not an easy path to do this. So anyway, our plan and our hope and our commitment is to create a community of dedicated people who are really wanting to walk this path with humility and with an eagerness and a curiosity to learn and grow and become their higher self. And then this, by the way, this little presentation we're doing has been cut down by 80%. So it's super short. Embodiment is the other big piece, that we actually embody the teaching. So 3 times a month we're going to be meeting, going through different pillars. And so each month we'll focus on the same pillar. And then do you want to talk a little bit about how in the field you will create some kind of energy attunements to help people embody the wisdom?
We will work with you individually while you're here.
Yeah.
And while I work with you individually, we will be exchanging energies. There will be a soul to soul communication, but it will not be like being a medicine journey or ayahuasca or whatever it is that you call it. It will be gentle.
Good.
A gentle journey of exchanging energies. That's how it works. The more that you are in my energy, in our energies, the more you will open up to who we are, because your soul is allowing itself to do that.
I think that's important to mention, the gentleness, because those of you who have done Darshans with us, you know that it's pretty gentle. I mean, occasionally somebody will have kind of a big opening, big Kundalini awakening, but generally we don't do very strong activations. If you see on Instagram, you see people waking people's fields up. You might see this on Instagram. It's kind of a Kundalini awakening. But I should say that we believe when you do that it needs to be gentle so that the integration can happen. And I think a lot of people are kind of really wanting this quick Kundalini because it does feel good. I mean, not initially, but when you're opening up and you have these download, I mean, it's kind of wild. It's like being on a psychedelic journey. And so there's an excitement when you first have a snippet of that. But the problem is you can get very ungrounded very, very quickly. And we don't want that. We're going very slow because Anthony went through kind of an abrupt opening. And our goal is to have people awaken gently and then integrate.
Yes,
That is so important for us.
that is true. It is an
Yeah,
awakening
so
and an
important.
integration all at
Yeah.
the same time.
You enjoy the process.
Yes.
This should be joyful and fun and exciting, and it's not a race. So that's one thing we won't do, because people's health and well-being and emotional states is so important for us. And I just want to reiterate that, because it's I don't know, it's one of the most important things to us.
Good.
So anyway, all right, so these are the pillars. I won't go into, details about it, but this is also on our website. So you can actually take a look at this in more details. And then there's actually another, which is at the end of this. I think it's actually a better diagram of it. It's a little bit easier to follow. But the first 6 months is really emptying. And, you say it's kind of a good way to explain it. We're not emptying, but we are emptying. It's really getting rid of the perceptions of our identity. You still have your identity, but we're not so longer glued to the identity that it gets in the way of us bringing through our higher self. Does that make any sense? It's actually, so traditional wisdom schools, or really they were called mystery schools. They're interchangeable: mystery school, wisdom school. The reason that we chose wisdom school is mystery kind of alludes to this, back in the Kabbalah and pre-Kabbalah, where it was secret and you weren't supposed to share these, teachings with the world, because it was dangerous if it got into the wrong hands, right? That's why the Kabbalah had a lid on it for so long. And the big piece of traditional mystery schools is they never would teach you the other pillars. So for example, 1 through 6 of these pillars, it's really about emptying, sitting quietly, meditation, purification techniques, physical, mental, and emotional. Physical, before you even get to the place of manifestation. So traditional mystery schools would never teach you how to manifest until you were emptying. And one of the things I really do love about the reason why is that until you empty, the ego is still leading the way. And it doesn't mean that you can't manifest from the ego place. You can. Look at Jeff Bezos. You can manifest. But A, it's not sustainable, and B, it's not going to bring you joy and happiness. And C, if it continues to go and you're manifesting with ego run amok, you're typically running over other people in the process, right? I mean, you're serving yourself healthily, financially, and in other ways, but you're running over people in the process to get there. So that's one of the reasons why the traditional mystery schools never really taught manifestation until you went through this emptying, because they want you to be from a place of humility before you go there. Does that make sense? That's why the beginning part of this is really, well, you can speak to this. You don't let the ego go. Why don't you speak to that piece of it? We never let the ego go, because it propels us forward. If you have no ego, there's nothing to propel you forward to want to go and help other people.
The ego simply becomes more integrated
Yeah.
into the opening itself.
It doesn't lead.
No.
Which is what we're seeing a lot in the world right now, right? So that's one of the reasons why when you look at the pillars, you'll see it'll actually kind of make sense when you actually look at them, why they're, the actual order itself isn't the most important thing, but the pillars and the focus area on the first section of the journey is kind of important, if that makes any sense. Because once we get to building, and then we do the vibrational resonance, the shadow integration, all of that stuff, you want to have that ego integration. Am I explaining it?
You are very well.
Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't leave anything out. Okay. So becoming your own channel, you've given us permission to lead with that. But I think the more important stuff is everything else, actually. The inner peace.
Yes.
That you feel. You don't get the triggers. Triggers. Biggest thing. Triggers. I think it's the biggest thing right now for all of us. I mean, how many of you are feeling more triggered now than ever before, especially when you watch the news? So, triggers, we used to have them with our husbands and our wives and our children and and our family members. And now, now we're all at war with the world because it feels so divisive out there. And so I think even more importantly than ever is to allow our triggers to bounce off us.
Or integrate themselves into you.
Thank you.
Less triggering.
Less triggering. And then, of course, Anthony and Magdalene talked about this earlier, the merging with all that is, knowing that you're channeling your higher self that's connected to everything. And that's when you're going to get the clarity of the messages. And then we are going to be doing energy work for sure. So the healing piece of it and healing ourselves it needs to begin with us, self-healing. So when we learn how to heal ourselves, we become more grounded. Like that message that you gave to me when I was lying, with Elizabeth, right? That message of, match your frequencies, regulate each other's nervous system, do this together. And I loved that it was another woman, right? And it was another woman who was a single mom of 3 kids and, really kind of struggling out there, but she's doing the work and she wants to do the work. And so, just that support for each other to know that we're not doing this alone. We're never alone. That was such a beautiful message that you gave me, that match each other's frequency, regulate each other's nervous systems.
Yeah.
So we'll be practicing that. And then the heart coherent field, anyone who's done Joe Dispenza's work or heart math, if any of you have been certified, you absolutely know what that means. That's creating the heart coherent field through which channeling happens, healing happens, connection happens. Sort of. And then for those of you who've signed up for a year, and I think 80% of you who have signed up so far have signed up for the year. We'll give you certification through us, but also through the, International Association of Therapists, certification upon the end of the year. And though it's only 6-month minimum commitment, we really, really, really encourage everyone to do the full year because, initially we thought about doing a commitment for a full year, but we thought that would, feel overwhelming for some people. But really the first 6 months is getting you to the place of where you're like, whoo, just that feeling of like when it kind of comes in, it's pure. You're looking.
I enjoy watching you teach, Gaia.
You do?
Yes.
Well, you're teaching through
I
me.
enjoy watching the divine feminine come into her own again.
Well, you're teaching through
And that is
me.
my
You're teaching
plan.
through me. Anyway, so that's really our reason for really hoping that you really commit to, and most of you have, but and then we'll be doing some periodical drop-ins. We're trying to think of how that's going to roll out. Maybe even a couple of guest speakers. We have to think about that alignment. And then there'll be extra lessons in the back end, the Kundalini activations and Biofield attunements we talked about. You guys will be working that out. And we'll be doing breakout rooms. I think only Eileen here. Oh no, Dunya, you did our master's program, didn't you? Did you do masters? I can't remember. You didn't do masters. Eileen did masters. I'm trying to remember who else. Did Daniel do masters? I know, it feels like so long ago. I know, the master's program feels like another lifetime ago. Anyway, people loved the breakout sessions, and we'll be doing practice offline as well. And then, of course, there's a workbook that's not finished yet. I keep adding juicier stuff. And I'm creating a cookbook. I can't believe I'm doing this. But I'm creating a cookbook with a lot of shapes, and I've been curating it for a while now. So I keep adding to it, but because purification is a big part of this process, and alkalinity, making sure that your body's alkaline. And so there is a questionnaire that we've sent people to find out, are there any, medical reasons why you couldn't integrate a more alkaline diet? There's nothing that's what's the word? There's nothing that's forced upon you. We're not saying, oh, you have to eat this way. So don't panic about that. But there will be some suggestions on more bringing in more alkaline food and drinks into your life, because it'll help you feel better for sure. And then for people who do want to go deeper, there will be some deeper mentorship. If you want to do that, you absolutely can. And then we're going to do an immersive in-person retreat. Michelle was asking about that earlier. We're doing 2 retreats this year. One will be this one. It's the last week of August, and it will be in Northern California in Marin. So that'll be, I think I just picked the dates. It's the last 4 or 5 dates of the last 4 or 5 days of August. I don't have the exact dates, but it's on our website under retreats. So you'll see it there. You do not need to do the wisdom school to come to that, but if you're in the wisdom school, obviously it would be great, because we will be doing some Darshan activations and go deeper into the teachings. So that will be in Northern California. And then the one that Michelle was referring to is France, which has been moved from June, because I don't know what we were thinking to be able to launch that in June, but we're going to go to the Cathar region in the end of October now, which feels so much better. I'm not sure what I was thinking about planning that so quickly. So the end of October is what we're looking at for the Cathar region, and that will be led by you.
I will be there, as I always am.
As you always are. So Magdalene will be, for our Provence retreat, Anthony was in channel the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but a lot of the time, which was pretty special. So we'll be doing that. And then this is the one that I think is actually a little bit easier. This is the last slide. And then we can do Q&A for those of you who are left. But I think this is, there's 2 different diagrams. For me, this is a little bit easier to follow. And you can see, like, from the beginning part, it's the inward, and the outward part too, right? The next 6 months is really where we start manifesting, aligning with, doing the healing. Not to say that we're not going to be practicing all of it from the very beginning, but we really want to, do you want to speak about that? Do you want to add to that? The difference between, you're so quiet.
I'm allowing you to speak.
I know, but I just wanted you to add your 2 cents to that.
12 pillars. How fascinating.
I know.
That you have the number 12 there.
I know.
Okay. It is important that you go through each pillar. Each pillar will prepare you for the next pillar. And that's really how it goes. It's an incremental stage through which you will be going, that you will integrate these energies. It is a practice.
Yeah. So there will be, I hate the word homework. I've always hated that word. So we need to, please send me your names for a different word for it. I've been noodling on what's a better word for this, but at home, offline practice, I guess.
Yes.
Does that sound better than homework?
Most of the practice is going to be on your own. You have to do this on a daily basis.
But then there will be stuff where we'll be working together, for sure.
That is correct.
So anyway, that's that. And then this, this is the pricing, or the investment energy exchange, if you like, for the program. And so there's 3 different ways to do it, but it is a 6-month minimum. And then if you do the year, obviously you save a little bit. And then there's, Sherry, did I send you did you get the 3 bonus things yet? Did I send that to you? I was just thinking about that.
I have to double check, not sure.
Yeah,
I just saw the questionnaire and I missed getting that back to you quickly, so I'll do that today.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Just I need to get that to people. So if you don't have those yet, they'll be coming this week. And then of course the optional in-person immersive in Northern California in late August. We just picked the dates. We finally committed to those dates.
It's in the books.
It's in the books.
As you
It feels
said.
so much better when it's in the books.
Yes.
So anyway, that's That is it. We're back. We lost a couple people, but not many. Wow, you guys really are troopers hanging out with us for an hour and a half this morning. You want to add anything?
It is important that you work with each other,
Yeah.
and you will have them working with each other also.
Yeah.
Zoom or
Yeah. And one of the other things too, and I'm always blown away how this works. And this happens, Asha, this happened with you on our retreat to France. I was like, I kept feeling this because I think in frequencies. That's how I think. And I was like, we need this frequency of to be in the group. It's missing. Like the divine mother, the divine healer, the earth. I mean, I have that energy, but I knew that that was supposed to come. And we had someone who was a volunteer who had that energy and she canceled. She was our volunteer at the last minute. And luckily we had one other volunteer. But then anyway, Asha reaches out and she says, hopefully there's space on this retreat. I'm coming. I don't care if I sleep in a closet. I know I'm supposed to be there. And there she was, the frequency that I felt that we needed from the sister group or whatever. And she showed up. And so it's kind of interesting how whatever we do, that seems to be happening even with the wisdom school. So it's going to be interesting to see who the final group is because, it's important that different frequencies work with each other because that's going to be the balancing, right? The balancing. So remember Asha, and I guess Eileen was also on the retreat. She's still here. That we had, I woke up at that moment and I said, "You're the 0 point." Do you remember that moment? That silly, crazy moment? I didn't even know what I meant by that when it came out of my mouth, but it was this galactic energy frequency that she held, and she didn't feel emotions. There was no sense of emotion. So think about Eastern teachings, right? You have the four elements. We have them in the West, the air, the right, and then you air and water and fire and earth. We have these frequencies. Well, in the East, it's the void. Here it's ether. But in the East, in Japan, it's the void. It's the nothingness. And in the nothingness, you have everythingness. But in that nothingness, there's no feeling. So sometimes when Anthony's completely in sync, like say when you're channeling the source energy, everything is love. Do you want to explain that? Because that's kind of what she had, right? And I couldn't quite understand it, but it was necessary to be there as part of the field, part of the collective field. Anyway, I get so excited about this stuff. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
the nothingness, the void.
Well, just how there was no emotions and no attachment to
Do you
emotions.
see any emotions in Anthony right now?
Mm-mm.
Now you understand.
Yeah.
He is in the field of what you call the void.
So guess what? With no emotions, there's no judgment.
No, there are no judgments.
Judgment's gone completely. Completely. So it's really powerful. Really, really powerful. Anyway, it gets so exciting. It's going to be a great program. Ah, Daniel, I know. We need more men. I think we only have 2 men signed up so far, which is pretty standard, right?
Yes.
Pretty standard. I know. We've missed you, Daniel. We've missed you. I know. It's been a long time. So yeah, it's so good to see your face. Anyone else? No emotions while channeling. What about love?
Ah, yes. But I will tell you that too, that even love is a perception of humanity, but it's a good perception. If there is emotion that you will desire to have love, for that love truly is the energy of the universe. We're going to have that perception.
Yeah.
That is the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Love doesn't go away. Like you will say that you see love in countless forms.
Yes.
So when he's working with someone, you feel love.
You will feel love and sense love in the infinite.
Infinite.
of who you are and who the soul is with whom you're working.
So in other words, the love that you have for a child, the love that you have for a partner, I mean, even sexual love, right? All of it. It's all the flavors of love.
These are the triggers that slowly go away because you sense in all things love.
Yeah.
And you start to understand it, you start to embody it, and you start to become it, and then you teach it.
Yeah. So it's not an emotion per se, it's a sensation or a feeling or a knowing.
Yes, it is a knowing.
Yeah.
That is where we're all headed together in this wisdom school of ours.
Mm.
But that doesn't mean that you have to be unemotional. By all means, be very emotional, because it is through your emotions that you're speaking with your heart. Become emotional. Enjoy your lives, food, community, all the things that give you these emotions.
Yeah.
Because in this dimensional reality that Anthony is in at this very moment, there are very few emotions. They really don't exist, and he understands that. But I want you to know that if there is one emotion, that it is love, and you will become love.
That's the embodiment.
Again,
That's the embodiment.
that is the
piece.
embodiment of it all.
Yeah. And if we can somehow become that and judgment falls away, then that's the healing of the collective
That is true, Gaia.
that we so need right now. That's why this is so important. It's not just for us individually, but how it affects the collective.
Very good. Beautiful session today.
Beautiful session. We'll
souls.
give you a link to the recorded replay.
And I will end with this, as I always do. I believe your Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you desire to be. Be that change that you desire to be. Be of peace and joy and love and grace and gratitude. All of these great things that you are as human beings. Become them, embody them, and then share them with others. That is the true sense of being human. Amen.